But let's get into that first big story we got from Timcast.com. Illinois governor gave $300,000 of federal relief funding to Black Lives Matter. This is $300,000 in federal COVID-19 relief funds went to the Lake County chapter of BLM. I could not, when I saw this, you know what I wanted to do? I went on Twitter and I was like, what do I tweet? And I was like, oh, I know. I'll tweet, are you paying attention? Wait a minute.
Oh my gosh.
No, I can't tweet that. For not only does Jack Posobiec tweet that for everything, I'm like, I think we're paying attention now, especially if you're following me on Twitter. So I just said, I'm not even going to ask. I know you're paying attention. It's this bad. Let me pull up their official documentation. This is COVID-19 relief funds. Check it out. Your business was shut down. You're in massive debt. You're getting evicted from your house. Your business was burned down in a riot. So money was taken from your tax dollars or printed and borrowed. And the Democratic administration from the federal government gives it to the states. And then Illinois says, we're going to give it right back to BLM. Here it is right here. Look at this. Under the guise of criminal justice and crime intervention, Black Lives Matter got $300,000. When we talk about January 6th, when we talk about the federal government going after only one political faction, letting the rioters do whatever they want, barely prosecuting anybody, going after a bunch of MAGA mimas who were let in the Capitol, and then you can see they're directly funding them. You know what? Maybe the reason they're not going to charge any of these rioters with terrorism, because then they'd all basically be committing some kind of sedition and insurrection, and then they would be ineligible. So when they sued Madison Cawthorn saying he couldn't run for re-election, I tweeted out, Kamala Harris is ineligible to run for public office because she engaged in insurrection against these United States by providing material support to those engaged in insurrection and terror against this country.
Amen. So BLM is kind of the perfect scam here because there are absolutely no results needed. What are the strings attached to when you give them money? What are they going to say? It's part of what's brilliant about this kind of political activism, generally speaking. The worse the problem gets, the more they can claim that they're needed and the more they can claim that you have to give them money or else you don't care about the problem. On top of that, when it comes to JB, I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with him or if the audience knows much about him, but being from the state of Illinois originally, I can give you a few facts on him that will leave you unsurprised with the fact that he would mismanage federal funds in this way. Firstly, he is every single thing that the left claims to hate, and he's all of them at the same time. It's almost amazing. He is a billionaire trust fund baby venture capitalist. And in the state of Illinois, he raised the collective tax burden by $5.25 billion, still couldn't balance the budget. He tried to raise it $8 billion, but wasn't able to. But he himself does everything he can to avoid taxes. He had a second house, which was a mansion, and he had every single toilet removed from it, so it would be considered uninhabitable when the tax assessor came, and he wouldn't have to pay. Yes, and so he wouldn't have to pay as much in taxes. He's an absolute swamp creature.
So we could take the toilets out of here and just put we could dig a hole in the backyard and I don't got to pay taxes?
And yes, so, well, you have to pay some taxes, but it's assessed as being at a lower value if it's uninhabited or uninhabitable.
Wow, that's amazing.
Very slimy.
Well, if there's anything that the government's really good at, it's wasting your money and scamming people. And this is a perfect example of this. Where did that money go to? An organization that can't even account for $60 million, as of course there's ongoing investigations into BLM right now. I mean, what did you expect? And then, I mean, there's so many different consequences here. There's so many different ramifications here. There's so many different ways we could even talk about this specific story. But this is how the government chooses to take your money that you gave them.
They create the problem.
Exactly.
Then they take your money to fix the problem and give it back to the people creating the problem, or partly.
And then make more problems.